Put excuses away. Watch this. I love it. A man that's good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Ben Franklin. One more time, I love that. A man that's good at making excuses is seldom good at making anything, or good at anything else. Amen? Matter of fact, when I started talking, especially when youngsters were younger, I said, y'all know what's going on here? And they would go, but Dad, you don't understand. I go, here goes an excuse. When I'm talking to somebody, a lot of times when something's going on, and especially if I know their heart's not in it, they go, well, you just don't understand. And I know what's coming. An excuse. Because you see, excuses, watch this. Excuses are the nails that build a house of failure. Abraham Lincoln. I can't let it go. They hurt me too bad. I can't let it go because I'm still paying for it. I can't let it go. There's guys that have been in Afghanistan, lost their legs. Guys have been in Afghanistan, lost their sight, lost limbs. They come back, they went whole, and they come back, and they're torn all to pieces. And a lot of times they can't get over. They can't get over it. And when they finally start moving through it, all of a sudden, guess what? You have a very powerful person with a very powerful testimony once they get past that. You know, Dave Reaver. Dave Reaver, I went to see him. He was called in the Navy. I think it's before they had the SEALs. It was in the Vietnam War. He was in the black something Navy. It was black something, and he was patrolling in his boat down in Vietnam. And he had a phosphorus grenade. He was getting ready to take it. And he was going to take that grenade and he was getting ready to throw it into a hill that had Viet Cong in there getting ready to shoot him. And as he pulled at that phosphorus grenade, a sniper shot it right out of his hand. And when it shot out of his hand, his whole body was engulfed in flames from that phosphorus grenade. He fell in the water to put it out, but it didn't go out. It kept burning. By the time the guys got there with the gurney, they put him on the gurney to bring him out. They thought he was dead, but he was still breathing. They put him on the gurney, and he burnt through the gurney. This guy was in bad shape. And so this guy here, his face, it took off part of his face, it took off his ears, took off his nose, it messed up, it took out one of his eyes. It was bad. He's burnt all over his body. And he's laying up there carrying wherever, water reader, wherever it is, and there's wrapped in bandages where they can and where they can't. He was just exposed. You can see all this stuff. And there was a guy next to him who had suffered something similar. He was burnt. This is the burn center. He was burnt. And Dave River kept saying, I don't know what I'm going to do, Lord. Look at me, I'm a mess. I can't do anything. I'm a mess. And he said, I don't know how my wife's going to do when she comes. I've only been married for a few months. I don't know what we're going to do when she comes to see me. I don't know what we're going to do. He said, I don't know if she wants to see me. And about that time, his buddy that had been next to him, his wife came up. And she looked at him. And she said, his buddy who was burnt so bad. And his wife looked at him and said, you know what? You disgust me. And she took her wedding ring off and threw it on the floor and walked out. And Dave Reaver was there, and he said, oh no, God, what am I going to do? I've only been married a couple of months. He said, what am I going to do? She's going to do the same thing. He was so afraid. And when she came up, she looked at him and he said, God, I know this is going to hurt, but it's going to get over with. I know this is going to hurt. And she looked down, and she grabbed what she could. And she got to his forehead, and she gave him a kiss on the forehead. She said, I love you, baby. We're going to get through this together. That man's had more surgeries than you ever imagined. But now he goes around the world and tells about the glory of God. How God saved him for a purpose. And that he didn't understand to start with. And he was angry. And he made all these excuses why he couldn't get better. But now, he goes all over the world. I've been there with him. I talked to him. He's an amazing man. He said, I understand that what happened to me before, God, listen, it didn't happen to me. It happened for me. Y'all can say that about your past. It didn't happen to me. It happened for me. You know, if I came from the right family, if I came from this, if I came from the right town, if I came from the right era, if I came from the right year, if I came from, or if you knew the parents I came from, let me tell you something. David Linton and Phyllis Linton are my parents, but I did not come from them. I came through them. I came from God. Amen. Neither one of them had a college education. Neither one of them graduated high school. That doesn't stop the point what I'm going to do. My parents were great to me. I had a good time with my parents. And praise God, my mom was up in heaven now jumping and having a good time with the Lord. But I'm here to tell you something right now. I didn't come from them. I came through them because God had a special purpose for me. He's got a special purpose for you. You didn't come from your parents. You came through your parents. And you come from God. God got you. He knows where He wants you. He knows the time, the error. He knows the hurt. He knows the pain. You know, Dave Reaver, it was so funny because Dave Reaver, this is the funny part. This isn't funny. He didn't have a nose, so his nose was pushed on. He didn't have an ear, so his ear was Velcroed on. He was in the Philippines preaching. Up on the stage, it was so hot. He said while he was preaching, he got happy and his ear fell off. He said everybody saw his ear fall off, so he reached down and he picked up his ear and he Velcroed it back on and kept on talking. And he said the people started shouting, hollering, "A miracle, a miracle!" I'll tell you something. Quit thinking this stuff happened to you and start thinking this stuff happened for me. So now I am better at doing what I've got to do for God because of this stuff that I've been through. Matter of fact, when you get to the point where you say, none of this stuff moves me and I keep my joy, remember, that's when you graduate. So watch this. There's only two options. You can make progress or you can make excuses. Which one will it be? I've been on both ends of that spectrum. Matter of fact, when I went to Fountain, one of the reasons that, God was number one. One of the reasons that I grew so fast there is because I didn't make excuses. They told us what the problem was, and I would identify the problem, identify the cause, and then immediately identify the solution. Identify the problem, identify the cause, and then identify the solution. A lot of guys just walk around and let it keep on falling apart, making excuses. And that never got anywhere. We stay stuck in so many cycles. And I'm here to tell you, in our own life, the same thing. We can make excuses, or we can identify the problem, identify the cause, and identify the solution. Once you do that, you can step forward. So, listen, two options. You can make progress, or you can make excuses. I'm going to leave this alone, okay? Somebody said thank you. Now we're going to go to tea. It's like, look, now the light changed. Somebody's going, whoa, glad to see that light change. So if you want to leave the stoplight, stop making excuses. There's a lot of things I don't like in my past. There's a lot of things I don't like right now. But you know what? Hey, it doesn't matter. You know, Linton and I, remember I told you we're asking those little questions. I love these little questions that we get. It's in a jar, we pull them out, we ask them back and forth, and it's a way for couples get to know each other better. Even if you've been married 100 years, it's still an awesome thing because you get surprised at some of the answers. But Linda, I think I told y'all this. The question was, what one of your features do you dislike the most? And so I said, my nose. She said, why? I said, well, it comes in handy in a race because I always win by a nose. I said, but to have a nose this big is kind of terrible because I still can't smell. I said, I got a big old nose that's broke. And she said, well, what's wrong with your nose? Because I thought it was one of your most attractive features. I know, Stephen, keep quiet. But the point of the matter was, what you consider bad, somebody else may not. So I can walk around and go, well, watch this. How y'all doing? How? I just make fun of it. Now it's time for the Hawkville tribe. I ain't Indian, maybe. It's the Hawkville tribe. All right. So here we go. Now the yellow light. Ready? T. Take an inventory of your life. Now this is going to be a hard one. But now, remember, the very first thing you got to do is stop making excuses. So after you stop making excuses, then you can take this inventory. But until you stop making excuses, don't go to this point. Because once you go to this point, that's when the excuses are gone. And now we're ready to do something. Remember, I'm telling you, I remember going to guys and I've been trying to figure out problems. That's my job, to figure out the problems. And so I go out to the boat and I go, okay, we're having this problem. We had 50 complaints about this one problem. And we're going to solve this problem so we quit having these complaints. And I would go to them and say, okay, one thing it looks like what I see is that the whale, there was a problem with the whale, how you did the whale, and there was a problem with preparation. And instead of the guy going, I think you're right, and I think if we did this, it'd make it better. And I'm trying to get the best guys to come help me, always get the best guys to do what they were doing to help with the problem. But for the first 6 months I was there, every time I'd call a guy up and go to his place, and I come walking up with my clipboard, they go, oh no. And I take it and say, we're going to work on this problem. And we start working on it. The first thing that we go is, I didn't do it! They were so scared they were going to lose their job. I said, I didn't say you did do it. They go, it's his fault. I said, I haven't even told you what it is yet. Okay, well, I didn't do it anyway. I said, we don't know that yet. Let's just try to fix the problem. And then we start talking about it, and I go, once we figure it out, I say, you know what? We didn't have this tight enough here, or we had this too small here. And I hear him go, but don't tell Mr. Fountain I did it. And I would tell him, dude, or dudette, I'm not mentioning names. I'm trying to find the problem. Your name will never be mentioned unless you come up with a solution. And I'll make sure your name's mentioned so you can get kudos for it. And they were so afraid that somebody was going to tell them. And so I asked the Lord to help me. I said, Lord, you got to help me. And so what I did was, with the Lord's help, I got a special pen made. It was a triangle, special triangle pen made. And it was called Continuous Improvement Program. And every time one of these guys came up with an idea to fix a problem and it was actually implemented, then they would get a picture standing with either Mr. Fountain or with Wyatt Fountain with a fresh, crisp $100 bill. They're shaking hands. And it's put up on the wall, and their idea was put up underneath there. You know what happened? In a couple of weeks, there was plenty of pictures. In a couple of months, we had to find a little wall to put pictures on. We saved $1 million that year. Because people quit making excuses and start looking for solutions. Wow. It's amazing. So, once you get past your excuses, take an inventory of your life. What am I talking about by taking the inventory of your life? This is good stuff, I hope. Ready? Watch this. I'm going to take an inventory of my life. Watch this. Here's what I got to do. We need to evaluate our assets, our abilities, and our experiences. Or what we've got, what we can do, and how it worked as we took what we had and used it for the good of whatever's going on. So watch this now, watch. After I figure out what I've got, what I can do, and what I've been through, I look and see what's left over after I've discarded what needs to be left behind. Because sometimes you're holding on to something you don't need to hold on to. I was in the woods praying one day. Some of y'all have heard this. I was in the woods praying one day. While I'm in the woods praying, I'm sitting there on the stump, and out of nowhere came this terrible wind. And it lasted for at least a minute. It came through, and the trees literally did like this. And I'm in this little area here with the cutout where the trees are coming out like a little peninsula. And so I got trees coming out here, and they're leaning over. And I'm here praying, and I look up and I watch this. I sat there for a minute or however long it lasted. And then it stopped. And when it stopped, all of a sudden, actually, because I was there in the shade, once it went over and come back up, I could see the sun through the trees. And I just asked God, I said, I know you're trying to show me something. Lord, can you explain what you're trying to show me? He said, look on the ground. I looked on the ground, and there was dead limbs all over the ground. Those dead limbs, watch, have been blocking the sunshine. Of course, I was enjoying the shade. But once the storm came through, it took out the dead limbs, and I could see the sun. Sometimes God allows storms in our life. Not so he can take stuff away just to be a mean old dad. But he takes stuff away. So in order, once the stuff is taken away through that storm, now you can see him a lot clearer. Wow. The psalmist said, I'm glad I was afflicted, Lord. Psalm 119. Matter of fact, Bethany went to him and said, Daddy, you got any idea? She was studying the Bible. She ran over and said, Daddy, she said, have you ever heard of Psalm 119:71? It always tickles me when people are studying the Bible, especially my family. They come to me and it's the first time they may have read it, and they come to me, and I love it. I like their excitement. And then when I give them, so he would stop doing this, I couldn't stand it, I had to do it this time, and said, like Daniel come to me, with Jeremiah 29:11, he's going, I know my plans for you is to prosper you, not to hurt you, blah, blah, blah. Daniel says, you ever heard that one? I said, yeah, Daniel, Jeremiah 29:11. He goes, oh, Dad. Bethany goes, Psalm 119:71. She said, that just spoke to me. I said, what, you were glad that you were afflicted? Because once you were afflicted, it drew you back to his word, and now you start to keep his word. She goes, yeah, how'd you know that? I don't know, Beth, it just came out of air. Listen, what's left over after all's discarded? That's your inventory. You see, we get so busy focusing on what we lost, and we lose sight of what we have and even gained. We're so worried about that one person, or one thing, or that one situation, or that one relationship, or something, not realizing the relationships, the door opened to a bunch more relationships. Well, the door opened up to a whole better life for you. All this stuff. And all we can do is focus on the thing that we lost and lose out on all the opportunities that it opened for you. Now, watch this. Look, Galatians 3 and 4 says, you've experienced many things. Are all those experiences wasted? I hope not. Wow. I'm going to give you a challenge right now. I'll actually make this and pass them out, try to have it here for you next week. But here's what I want you to do. An inventory of your life. This is fresh, and so I'll make one. I didn't have time to make it for you yesterday. All right. What I want you to do is, I'll try to make one for you, but until you do, you can do it for yourself if you want to go home and do this. Take your piece of paper and draw 2 columns. You'll have 3 areas. 1, 2, 3. At the top, I want you to put lost, kept, and gained. Lost, kept, and gained. And then I want you to write the situation that you went through. Whether it was a divorce, whether it was a loss of whatever, a job, whether it was whatever. Whatever the problem was, there was an argument that I had, and this argument really turned out to be more than I thought it was going to be, and I wound up breaking up stuff. So look, I want you to do this. Really, lost, kept, gained. And after you put lost, kept, and gained, you actually, I promise you, if you can be honest and not make excuses and be absolutely honest and ask God to help you, guess what? You're going to see how things really look. And you'll find out that although the loss caused a lot of pain, there's still gain. Even though it hurt you, God in the end helped you because it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. There's a difference. Amen? So now, I'm just about through, but watch this now. I'm getting all the ST, so I got ART. All right. I hadn't kept up with it too much on how to spell it. Ready? Now we got to go sign. We went from stop to yield. Take the inventory before you go forward. You got to take an inventory, because if you don't, all you're going to do is live in excuses. And remember what I said: excuses are the nails that build a house of failure. And anytime I used to get by Snow Fountain, because they always gave me all the problems. Anytime I got somebody to start making excuses, here's what I would tell them: Here's what I would tell them. They'd be sitting there and they'd be going at it, Jimmy, why, it can't work, why, it was their fault, why. And here's what I always tell them. Now, when you get through with your excuses and when you get through with blame, we'll fix this problem. We'll go ahead and get out your system now. I'm here, I'm listening. Go ahead and get it out. I want it out of your system. Once you get it out of your system, the blame and excuse game, we'll fix this problem. And they go, yeah, that's right. And so they'll quit the blame, quit the excuse, and then if I get around them and they hear me, and then they knew that I didn't want to hear that. And so a lot of times, there was another guy be sitting here, I just told him a couple weeks before, if you'll quit blaming and excusing, we'll go ahead and fix this thing. And I'll be sitting there, another guy comes and going, but it's their fault, blah, 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 blah. And the guy will look at him and say, look, if you would quit blaming and excuses, we can fix this thing. It tickled me because it started catching on. Amen? So now watch this.